Hello and welcome to your practice today. I'm so pleased to be here for those of you that are joining me for the next 14 days. This class is the kickoff to our community experience. This is not a juice cleanse. This is 14 days of commitment to showing up, meeting yourself where you are, and spending some time connecting through and to your practice. So today's class is called Beetroot and inspired by an earthy beetroot juice. This is all about helping you land into this space. And regardless of whether you're here for the first time, if you're joining me for the next 14 days, or if you're here as a one-off, this is a really wonderful practice for helping you ground into your body, into the space that you're in, and feeling that sense of support from everything around you. So I've got myself sat on a block. I'd encourage you to do something similar. If you don't have blocks, then you can grab something else to sit on just to lift the hips above the knees. I'm also going to be using these blocks through the practice. I have tight hamstrings, and the nature of this practice is that we will be working with the back body. That's where we get that really strong sense of grounding from. So if you have something that you can use in lieu of blocks, then amazing. Grab them now, and if you're sitting on one, keep that there, place the other at the top of the mat, and then get yourself nice and comfortable. And find a tall spine. Have a gentle drawing in of the navel to the spine, and then we use the bandhas, so the pelvic floor is lifting up as this energy drawing up the body, and at the same time we're rooting down through the sitting bones, drawing up through the crown of the head, chin drawing gently towards the throat, and the crown of the head extending skywards. And so we're using the bandhas, softening the curves of the spine, and finding a seat that you can maintain for a few moments. And just begin to notice how it feels here. Maybe physically, emotionally, energetically. Whatever it is that you can notice, notice. And in that noticing, observe whether you attach a story to whatever it is that you've identified. Whether you start to label good or bad or whatever. And see if with your next breath you can let go of that story. And this is this idea of meeting yourself where you are. How you are showing up in this moment is as you are. And that is the you that you're meeting today. It doesn't matter how that compares to the you that was here yesterday or the you that might be here tomorrow or even in 30 minutes' time. In every moment, in every breath, and in every movement, we meet ourselves where we are, and we hold space for that version of ourselves. And then start to take the awareness down to the sitting bones. Feel whatever it is that is underneath your seat. And as you allow yourself to soften down into the seat, notice how the seat holds you a little bit more firmly. This communication of touch between the sitting bones and whatever it is that's beneath you, representing how you are held by the earth. And we have this sense of rooting down. And as we root down, the earth lifts us up. And imagining like the roots of the trees, the sitting bones, connect to the seat beneath us and then travel down and down and down into and beyond the surface of the earth, into that deep, nurturing, nourishing soil. And there's this web of roots beneath the surface of the earth, anchoring us in to a web of connectivity of all things, all beings. And we allow ourselves to explore this idea of interconnectivity as we find a sense of rooting, nurturing, and belonging here. It is safe to be here. You are welcome here. And let's bring the hands to touch at the heart. A moment to acknowledge an intention that we might choose for our practice together. What quality do we want to uplift through our time on the mat? And join me in taking a deep breath in and a big sigh. Good. Gently blink the eyes open if they're closed. And release whatever you have underneath your seat. So you're going to come to a child's pose. So take your knees as wide as the hips, maybe even wider, and extend the arms out on the mat. Let the forehead come down to the floor. And if the hips are lifted away from the heels, you can always place a block underneath your seat here. You could also place one underneath your head to help you get a sense of groundedness connected to the earth if the body doesn't quite meet the mat beneath you. And this idea of meeting ourselves where we are is not about forcing the body to fit into certain shapes, but allowing ourselves to adapt our practice to suit whatever it is that the body is like in this moment. We start to deepen the breath. Feel the body expand with the inhale and soften with the exhale. And perhaps considering for a moment how that breath is an exchange. So you're not breathing on your own, but you're breathing in collaboration with every single breathing being on this earth. Let's take a deep breath in. A big sigh, releasing that breath from the body. And then pressing down through the hands, start to lift your hips away from your heels and exhale, pushing back. So just going to do that a couple more times. So inhale, coming forwards. And exhale, pushing back. Inhale. And exhale. As you inhale, this time come all the way forwards. Bend your elbows, let them hug against the rib cage as you bring your body to the floor and release the feet back. Then slide your elbows forwards, coming into a Sphinx pose. Good. Just take a couple of moments lengthening through the lower back. Take an inhale in. And as you exhale, lower the body down to the floor. We're going to slide the hands either side of the rib cage, tuck the toes behind you, send your hips to your heels, and then from here, start to lift up to your downward facing dog. Now, as you're coming into your downward facing dog, be mindful about the positioning of the hands and the feet. Are you just going somewhere out of habit? Or are you able to really connect into the present moment and feel, where do my hands want to go today? Where do my feet want to go today? What makes this shape appropriate for where I am today? So there's no force. There's nowhere you're trying to get to. The knees are soft and you start extending the spine a little more. Let the head hang down. And then soften the knees and start to walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet at the back of the mat. Take an inhale and lengthen your spine. An exhale, fold. Notice if the backs of the legs are really tight, make sure you're taking a deep bend through the knees. Good. And then root down through the feet and roll all the way up the spine. And as you come up to the top, let's take hold of the right wrist in the left hand. So letting the knees be a little bit soft here, we're going to step that right foot behind the back and take a little flex over to the left side. Good. Rooting down through that left foot, extending through both sides of the waist. Take an inhale, come up to center, ground the back heel, and then slowly start to fold forwards. Good. Now this might be intense. You can always soften your knees here if it's too much in the back body. Just allowing the breath to flow, easeful breath. And then softening the knees, push down through the feet, come up to standing. Release the right foot to the right side. Take the left wrist in the right hand rather, stepping the left foot behind. So we're flexing over to the other side. Good. Take another inhale. Come back to center. Leave the feet where they are, but ground the heel and fold. Good. One more breath. Softening the knees, root down through the feet, come all the way up to standing, release the left foot parallel to the right, and then exhale, bend the knees and fold all the way down. We're going to walk out to a high plank. Now you can always modify your high plank by dropping the knees to the floor, otherwise stacking your shoulders over your wrists and extending through the heels. Good. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Good. Keep the gaze down between the hands. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower the knees, chin and chest to the floor. Sliding forwards into Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Point your toes back and extend through the spine. And exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Breathe. Let's inhale, coming forwards to high plank. We're going to do that same little movement again. This time, if you want to move from high to low plank through Chaturanga Dandasana, that's an option. You can come to cobra or lifting the thighs for up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. One more time. Inhale, ripple forwards. Exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. So letting the movement connect with your breath. The breath guides the movement. Let's take an inhale and raise the right leg high. Step the foot between the palms and ground the back heel. We're coming up to warrior one. So the hands are parallel, all the palms touch. You're squaring your hips to the front of the mat and energizing that back leg. Good. Breathe. Let's take another breath. And exhale, release the hands down. We're going to place the hands onto the blocks if you have them and start to extend the right leg. Good. Now, if you need to modify this, you could always step the back foot in, but we want to try and maintain the extension of the spine. So rather than curling forwards to get the forehead to the knee, think about extending the ribs away from the pelvis here. Good. How is your breath? Nice. Let's bend into the right knee. Pick up the back heel. Place the blocks to the sides of the mat. Reach the arms high. High lunge. Good. Take a breath in. And exhale, just letting yourself land into this shape. Energize through the back leg. Can you feel that opening up through the front of the left thigh? Take an inhale, extend the right leg. And we're coming into a forward fold again here. This time you're on the ball of the back foot. So just noticing if that changes the sensation. And you can adjust the position of your hips in space. Good. Nice. One more breath. A little softness in that right knee. Let's take the hands out to the sides. Start to shift the weight forwards, coming into warrior 3. Extend the back leg behind you. Your arms can be out wide. You could fly them back towards your foot, or you could extend them forwards alongside your ears. Take a breath in. Exhale, soften the right knee. Step the left foot back. Come to your warrior 1. Take a breath in. And exhale, release the hands. Chaturanga Dandasana, or step to downward facing dog, whatever you choose. Meet yourself where you are. What is the most nourishing, nurturing way to practice today? How can you ensure that every movement and every breath is guided by the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice? And as you arrive in downward facing dog, notice if there's any variation in sensation, one side of the body to the other. And then switch to the left side. So inhale, left leg rises high. Looking forward, step the foot between the palms. Ground the back heel, coming up to your warrior 1. Good. So set the foundation with the lower body. Peeling the right hip forwards, the left hip back. Think of spreading the feet wide. That connection to the earth is really important here. So how can we be in communication with the earth beneath us as we move the body? Good. Take an inhale and extend the left leg. We're folding forwards, taking the blocks if you have them and if you want to use them. And remember, the thing about our practice is that we're not here just this once. This is a lifelong exploration, and it's really helpful to use props to support our practice, to support the longevity of the practice, and to really allow us to nurture, nourish our body with kind of that long-term commitment in mind. Good. Let's bend the knee here. We're going to rise up to a high lunge, picking up the back heel. Good. Energize through the back leg, gentle tuck of the tailbone. Feel that opening up through the front of the thigh. Take one more breath. As you inhale, lengthen the left leg, extend out of the waistline. You're on the ball of the back foot this time as you fold over your toes. Just notice how that positioning of the back leg changes the sensation through the rest of the body. The spine stays long. Good. Let's soften the left knee. Take your arms wide. Find your balance as you step into the left foot. Maybe step the right foot in a little step and then float it up. Or perhaps you can come straight up into your warrior three, taking the same arm variation that you took on the first side. Good. Let's bend the left knee, step the right foot back, come to warrior one. Lift up out of the waist. And then exhale, release your hands. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa if that's your choice. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Nice. Now we're going to build from there into a little flow before we come to seated. So let's inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step the foot between the palms. Come to warrior one. Ground the back heel, arms up. Take the arms wide as you shift forwards into warrior three. Good. And then stepping back, warrior one. Exhale, warrior three. Good. Don't worry if it feels wobbly. Soften the knee, warrior one. We've got one more time. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, come to warrior one. And exhale, vinyasa. So if that feels too quick, too wobbly, you can always just slow it down. Take fewer flows from warrior one to warrior three on the left side. Let's give it a go. Inhale, left leg rises. Stepping forwards, warrior one. Ground the back foot, rise up. Exhale, shift the weight forwards, warrior three. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, third warrior. Good, we've got one more. Inhale. Exhale. We come to warrior one with the in-breath. And exhale, release the hands. Step back, inhale, high plank. Exhale, vinyasa, or I'll meet you in down dog. Good, take a breath in. Release the breath. And then let the knees come down to the floor. Take your hips to your heels, find your child's pose. And feel the breath through the body. Notice how it feels to be in your breath, to feel that thread of connection. So you're breathing in unison or breathing in exchange and connection with every other living, breathing being on this earth. Take another breath in and let it go. Let's come up onto all fours. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Finding tiptoes, look forwards. We're stepping or jumping through to seated. And then extend the left leg out in front. Let's drop the right knee out to the right side. Find your sitting bones and reach your arms up. Hinging at the hips, exhale, start to fold down over that left leg. Flexing the foot. Keeping the chest forwards, the spine long. Good, breathe. And walk your hands back up. Let's pick up that right knee and step the foot to the outside of the left leg. Hug the right leg with the left arm and take your right hand to the base of the spine. So flexing the left toes as you start to twist and look over the right shoulder. Good, extending through the spine. And then release. Take a little counter twist to the other side. And then extend the right leg. Bring the sole of the left foot into the inseam of the right leg. Lengthen through the spine, look forwards. And exhale, begin to fold over the right leg. Couple more breaths. Nice. From here, release. Take that left foot over the right thigh. Hug the left leg with the right arm, left hand to the base of the spine. Flex that right foot as you look over your left shoulder. And feel the sitting bones in the back of the right leg in contact with the earth. And as you let the body connect to the earth, feel how it pushes back to hold you, support you here. Good, and then release. Take it to the other side. And then just cross the right leg under the left leg, or the other way around, whatever feels most comfortable for you, and just take a moment to sit. You can always place a block underneath the sitting bones. And just notice how the body feels here as you gather the navel to the spine and feel that rooting down of the sitting bones, the extension of the crown of the head into the space above you. Shoulders soften down the back of the body and breathe. And as your sitting bones ground down into the surface of the earth, this web of interconnectivity between yourself and every single being, and the breath and exchange of life with all that is living here on this earth. You can choose here to stay in a seated meditation pose or to release whatever is underneath your body and come down onto your back for Shavasana. Whatever is your choice, let that be so. Meet yourself where you are. What you need today is exactly what you offer yourself. Let go of any story that tells you you need to be somewhere else. And bring yourself down onto the back of the body, or stay as you are and take a deep breath in. And a big sigh to release the breath from the body. And let yourself be held here. You can stay here a little longer if you like. But if you're ready, you could start to bring movement back to the body, wiggling fingers and toes, reaching the arms up alongside the ears. And bring your knees to meet your chest. Having a little rock gently from side to side. And then landing on whichever side of the body you have space for. Pushing into the top hand and gently bringing yourself up to seated. Perhaps placing something beneath your seat to help the sitting bones root down into the earth beneath you. And then stacking the head at the top of the spine and bringing your hands to your heart. So take a moment to consider how connected we are to one another, to our community in practice, and to all living beings on this earth. However it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're showing up as today, know that you are part of this incredible web of interconnectivity, and you are held and supported by this earth beneath you. Let's take a deep breath in and a big sigh. Thank you so much for your practice today.